Hello, my TED Talk is going to be on how perfect is not such a perfect word. For example, most times we use perfect to convey how good an object is or how it's satisfactory to us, towards us. But we never really stop to think about what does perfect mean. Perfect often means to us, or textbook definition, without flaws, right? But we use the word to have the way we use the word has so many flaws because perfect in and of itself should be, you guessed it, perfect. But however, it's not. And it's a really weird misconception of why we use perfect to describe things that are fine, okay, maybe even less than fine or okay. But we still say it's perfect, just do what you do, baby, right, type thing. But we never use it in the correct stance of the word. This is perfect. We love this. We all love this, right? We never use it in that sense. But when we do use it, we're using it in imperfect ways, and it's weird because we're using the opposite of the word. We're being imperfect with perfect. And it's a misconception of, can perfect really be perfect? And the answer is absolutely no. No, absolutely not. Because perfect, the word, is not perfect. It's a opposite to itself. If I were to say anything, it's opposite to itself. And where perfect should be perfectly said, perfectly known, perfectly acknowledged, perfectly, you guessed it, perfect. And we never use it perfectly acknowledged, perfectly known. We never use it that way. But we always use it to describe something or somebody who is okay, good, or fine. And when we do, it's weird to me. Because in and of itself, perfect is not perfect, right? But it all depends on your mindset or your mind in general. Because we can often view something as perfect. We view them as without flaws. You will never tell your baby boy your drawing is crap. Just dookie garbage, whatever, right? But you will always call it perfect. It's my perfect little drawing. My perfect little baby. My perfect little baby boy. We will never call it your garbage. You don't look good. Why? Why did you draw something like this? No, we will say it's perfect the way it is. And it's weird, right? In our mind, we think of things as perfect. We ourselves say, this is perfection. When you look at your child, when you look at your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad, this is a perfect life, you think, right? But if you look at it deeper, it's not so good, it's not so perfect. But why do we still use perfect there? And that's what I'm really trying to get at. Why are we using perfect in that sense? Why do we think that perfect in the way we used it is perfect? Look at it another way. You're perfectly fine the way you are. How does that make you feel? Good, right? Well, now, why do we see perfect being used much more in a professional stance, right? Employer, employee. We always see it's perfect. It's perfectly fine. Why do we see that? Personally, I think it's because we like being told we're good. We like being told we're amazing, we're fine, we're perfect, right? We like being told that. And when you think about it, you hear perfect a lot more than you ever would when you're working. When you have a boss, when you are the boss, you use perfect a lot more. And that's because people love being told they're good, they're perfect, they're fine, right? You're perfectly fine. This is perfectly acceptable. This is perfectly, perfectly perfect. We hear that so much more when we are not professional. Well, we are professionals, right? We hear that so much more. And it's weird because when we common people, the ones who usually are at home, don't really have a job, or just doing their own thing, we only use perfect emotionally. When emotions are high, when our child is there, we use perfect. Our child is perfectly nice. She's a perfect baby girl. She's a perfect baby boy. She's a perfect angel. Why do we use it so much to describe our things we love? That's another thing. Why is it so much, do we attach so much emotions or attach the word perfect to so much emotions, right? We attach good words to our feelings so much that we often neglect or even try not to say like bad words to people or good words to people, right? Because we don't really want to affect their emotions like that. Or you do, even then, you do want to affect their emotions. Use words like good, perfect, amazing, you're fanatical, right? But why do we use those words? We often use them to appease people, to make them feel better than they do, to make them lift them up more than we want them to be, right? We want them higher. We want them to go up further. And this is the reason we really use the word perfect. And this is the sense we really use perfect. To bring a person up, to make them feel better. That's why we use words in general. Sometimes, of course, there are negative, there are bad, there are worse words you can use. There are so many better words, though. Even if you look at the thesaurus, Jesus, thesaurus. Have anybody else had trouble saying that word when they're younger? Jesus Christ, thesaurus. When you look in the thesaurus, there's so many other words you can use, other than perfect, other than good, other than amazing, other than whatever you look up, right? Whatever you look up, you can find. It's Google nowadays, whatever. You can look up anything. When you look up this word, what do you see? So many other words like it. But if it was perfect, it would be perfectly unique, perfectly alone, perfectly normal, right? It would not have so many words that mean the same thing or close to it as that. And that's how perfect is perfect and imperfect at the same time. We have to think about things like this. We almost never will use a good word in its proper sense, right? Say you're amazing, you're fanatical, you're perfect, okay? Those words mean different things in different contexts. Often they don't mean what we're trying to convey. Amazing doesn't mean you're doing top notch, you're up there with the big ones. No, it means you're awestruck. You're looking at a scene and it's amazing to you, right? Fanatical, another one. You're frantic about something. You're trying to take the emotion. It's been so long since I looked up fanatical. Jesus Christ. You're trying to look at these emotionless words and attach emotion to them. Say happy, sad, mad. Those are the ones I could come up with right now. You attach so much emotion to these words that are emotionless. And it leads to so many different things. Say, you're a complete mess up. Mess up isn't an emotional word, but the way you put it, the way you say it, the way you use it, it adds so much emotion to it, right? And that's where other happy words come in. You're amazing. You're fanatical. You're perfect. I don't know why I'm getting so into this. But then again, you attach so much emotion to these words, you don't think about the way the definition is written. It's not written to appease your emotions. It's not written to make you feel better about yourself. It's written to describe the word that as it is being used, right? And for whatever reason, we as a people decide to attach so much emotion to these words who don't have emotions. And that's where sometimes we mess up the intentions of others. Sometimes when we don't add emotion to a word, when we do add emotion to a word per se, we take it in the wrong way. I could say, you're looking as usual. I could have put as a compliment, you're looking better in these trying times. You're looking as you did before these trying times. But some will take it as, you're disrespectful. Why are you so mean to me? Why are you trying my patience? Why? And nobody knows. It's all part of our psyche and our psychological, I'm looking for the right word, our mental mindset, right? Where we have so many different languages, so many different words that sometimes we mix them up. Say you're a Spanish speaker and you're talking to, say, a Chinese speaker. They won't understand what you said, of course. But if you add emotion to the words, they will obviously think, hey, you're mad, avoid them. Hey, you're happy, let me help you, right? They'll think about those things. But when you're emotionless, hey, you're looking good today. Talking like Arnold Schwarzenegger without any emotion, right? They will attribute that to either you're being bored, you're being annoying, you're being not, Jesus Christ, you're being like confrontational to them. And it's really what we have to think about, where we have to draw the line between being emotionless and emotionful, right? This went into a whole different direction. I didn't mean for this. I started ranting. It went on forever and ever. At this point, it's a 12-minute speech when it shouldn't have. I'm just really into the psychological problems, the mental states of people. And it really interests me, right? So this is what I came up with for a speech, my TED Talk, right? And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please, 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 please add something on. If you want to just add something on, go to like Reddit and add something to these discussions and speeches I looked up, right? Just go somewhere and add something. And that is all I have to say. Have a good day. Stop.